tonight. It's the 150th anniversary of the Football Association. Fantastic. Delighted to welcome Sir Trevor Brooking to Talksport. Trev, morning.
Morning, Trevor.
Morning.
How are you, Trev?
I'm all right, yes.
You're in for an interesting morning, Trev, no doubt about that. 150 years, incredible.
Yeah, no, it's it's good to, I think, celebrate what's happened before, but also we got an exciting year. I mean, apart from, we've got 2 games against Brazil, has been announced, one coming up shortly at home, and then going out to Rio to play early June. But of course, as well as Republic of Ireland, we've got the England-Scotland. When you and I have had a few, looking back, there was some great England-Scotland games. So that's good to see that.
We never won one. All right.
I wasn't going to delve into that. I mean, but I was trying to give you the opening, really.
But Gordon Strachan as well, so I think that'll go down well north of the border.
Yeah, no, that'd be good. But no, it's a good year, and also I think it's important to try and hire, a lot of good work that's going on at the grassroots, all the volunteers and all. We know what it's like. We have a little explosive incident happens, it focuses a lot on the governing body and whatever, and it tends to distract away from a lot of the great work going on across the country. So for us, it's a chance to highlight all the good work. Certainly in mini soccer with boys and girls now, the participation level is massive. We've just got to try and make sure we retain them when they go into their teenage years.
And St George's Park as well, Trev, So listen, the Olympics, a lot has happened over the past 18 months.
Yeah, I think the Olympics was awesome, and I think great credit to everyone who put it on, and then all our athletes who got such great results. But more than anything, it focused on what you can achieve, and from our point of view, you'd like to think it whetted the appetite of the England senior lads that if we could ever get a situation where we got into the last 4 or a final of a tournament, the whole country would stop, because we love our sport, and it's just been a fantastic year. I mean, going in the golf and wherever you look, to the cricket. I mean, it was just some fantastic performances, and we've just got to hopefully get that to inspire us as well.
Trevor, I've got to ask you, what about youth football in the UK? Is that healthy at the moment?
You mean the grassroots, I think, is. You probably know on the grassroots side, we had a youth development review. So instead of now, we got sort of 5-a-side. It's going to be from sort of under 7, under 8, 7v7, 9 and 10. And then we're going to go into 9v9 to try and help the transition, to be honest, with... a lot of youngsters were going into 7v7 and then playing on a massive senior pitch with big goals, and we were all recommending with our future game document play out through from the back, and the big pitches take them half out to get to the other end, and so some of the dads were picking the 2 biggest players to whack it the length of the pitch. So our actual philosophy of trying to play and pass it more was not going to happen unless we made these changes. So from the youth development review, grassroots, because that's where it's all happened, I think we're going to improve that. And then obviously on the elite side, we've got something called the Elite Player Performance Plan, where a lot more money Premier League's put in about 30 million.
Trevor, there is one thing that's concerning. I mean, there's a couple of articles this morning about Michael Johnson. I don't know if you've seen them or not. Obviously, at Manchester City. And I saw him as a young player, and I thought this guy was going to be an absolute star, and a lot of money obviously changed hands when it comes in signing for City, and maybe, I don't know, I'm just concerned about young footballers. It seems Raheem Sterling has been advised exceptionally well at Liverpool. I'm just worried the amount of money these young guys get at a young age can maybe spoil their careers.
I wouldn't disagree with that. I mean, it's a big challenge for the clubs, how you manage that. We had an under-17 team that has been the only successful international side in our development teams. A couple of years ago, they won the under-17 championship. They beat Spain, beat France in the semi, and we passed the ball as well as any young side, and you were hoping that 1 or 2 come through that. But 1 or 2 of those got good contracts, and to be honest, have not kicked on as we were hoping, and that is the biggest challenge. You to get 20, 25 grand a week at 18, the hunger, the desire, the enthusiasm. I mean, we were talking about wages earlier this morning, and I can remember myself, I was, as a young apprentice, £7 a week, and then when you got into the first team, and I'm sure it's the same with a lot in our era, and Alan will know, you got a basic wage, but a lot of it was loaded up, appearance money to play in the first team, and then win bonus and whatever, whereas nowadays they try and lock in massive basics, and if you're getting a basic sort of wage for just either sitting on the bench or not delivering or not performing, and then you're a club and you suddenly think, blimey, I've signed this person on for 4 years and they're not perform it. I think they're getting too much too soon. But then, if clubs and agents are able to get those deals, it is a big challenge. But I think that is one of the problems, certainly young English players, because they're not. We haven't got as many of them as we should have. They're not there with the depth. And then, of course, there's this homegrown thing within your squads. So sometimes your English youngster is included in the squad, and you're paying perhaps a bit over the top to get X number of homegrown players in your squad, whereas they're not really worth the money that they're paid.
No,
and
absolutely.
And that's the problem.
Trev, what about now? What was nice? Couple of nice messages from Jose Mourinho. I know they came from all over the world, but Jose Mourinho talking about the FA. Congratulations, Pep Guardiola as well, and both sort of hinting that Jose, I'd love to come back, and Pep saying, well, it's something that I'm thinking about now. So that's good news for the Premier League.
Yeah, well, it's good news unless you're probably one of the bigger clubs you're a manager there, because that was the door was ajar then, wasn't it? Pushed ajar. But no, from me, look, they're big names. They've been hugely successful, and I think they all seem to like working in the passion. When you go to grounds here, the place is rocking when you get really good matches, and I think they find that sort of unique, and also the games as they come through are probably more competitive. From every week, there's not that many easy games, and so they enjoy that. Certainly, it can be stressful if you're working in that environment. But if they're one of the big clubs and they've got the investment to put in a big squad, I'm sure both of those, might well surface at some stage in the next 2 or 3 years.
And Trevor, I hope you're not going to be there for hours and hours, because you got to go home to Essex and get your feet up in front of the fire. United versus West Ham tonight.
Yes, I didn't think I was going to have to do that when it went into extra time for the first game. But the equaliser was awesome, wasn't it? The Ryan Giggs pass and then the Van Persie finish. So at the moment, you've got to say we'll be the underdogs in that game, and of course now what's it, Fulham waiting. But I'd like to see. I see he was on the bench at the weekend. Diarmi. I'd like to see him have a run. He was probably our best player the first half of the season. We missed him.
Got to keep him as well, Trev.
Oh, yeah, that release clause doesn't sound great when I keep.
Well, that's another thing that bugs me. These release clauses, they do my head in. Honestly, why clubs allow them is beyond me.
Why would you? I don't know. I when I see that myself, I am mystified. And then obviously the Denver Bar one had one as well, didn't they? I mean, I suppose at the time, if you're desperate to get the person, you think, okay, but they're not going to be the success they turn out to be. But I mean, Diarmi, for that sort of
good
money,
player.
yeah, very good, and
very good.
He has galvanised the midfield because he's just got such a energy that he gets forward and links the play, and West Ham need him in the next few weeks. So I don't know whether they'll start him because naturally they've got league games coming up. They've got QPR Saturday, and then they've got Arsenal away as well.
Two derbies,
yeah, 2 derbies with Fulham as well. So, at Old Trafford, hopefully they'll have a decent side out, but you got to say, I expect they're suggesting Wayne will play tonight when they say he'll want to get back in the action. So that's all you need, isn't it? Somebody coming in like that.
Trev, have a great day. Thank you.
Many thanks for your interest. See you, lads. Yeah, bye.
So Trevor Brooking there. I think it's central London, of course. Seen some pictures of this helicopter crash. You'll hear more